The stability and sustainability of Social Security and Medicare, not only critical issues in every election year, but for most politicians, they're kind of the third rail of politics. A topic to be avoided because no one wants to hear that these programs are in serious jeopardy, but they are. And the question is, what are you going to do about it? The National Committee to Preserve Social Security and Medicare seeks to advocate for seniors and to educate the public about these issues. Max Richtman is the president and CEO of that group. He's joining me tonight in our WGN studios for more. Thanks for coming in from Washington for us.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you for inviting me.
Actually, Max, you were here for an important purpose today, dealing with the issue of women in Social Security benefits, something some people may not think about. Explain what you
Well, we participated this afternoon in a forum with AARP and the Heritage Foundation to talk about the particular issues affecting women and Social Security. Women, as you know, receive lower Social Security benefits for a couple of reasons. One, they make less money, and that's not a problem with Social Security, it's a problem with wage discrimination. So they're making less money, paying less in FICA tax, and their benefits are reduced. Also, women, as we know, are often the member of the family that leaves the workforce to raise a family, take care of children, take care of an elderly relative, even if it's not her parent, and therefore loses those quarters of wages that contribute to the formula for benefits. So women have a particular problem in maintaining enough income through Social Security.
And the goal is to get legislation passed to resolve
absolutely.
that.
Absolutely, and their paycheck fairness deals with the wage discrimination. Caregiver legislation that we support, and it's been introduced in the Congress, would develop a formula for applying those years when a woman leaves the workforce, is not receiving a paycheck, and would apply those years in a formula that would add to her benefit structure.
All right, obviously when people vote this year, because I think you think about the women not getting paid the same amount, and you realize there are consequences to that down the line at Social Security time. Your website is taking a look at all the Senate candidates and all the presidential candidates, or both of the presidential candidates, and letting people know where they stand on these issues. So let me come home for this one. First of all, let's start nationally. Clinton and Trump, generally speaking, is one better or worse than the other when it comes to Social Security issues?
It's hard to know where Mr. Trump stands on Social Security, as it is true with many other issues. He, by the way, was the only candidate in the Republican primary contest that said, I'm not going to cut Social Security, I'm not going to cut Medicare. At the same time, in his books, he has referred to Social Security as a Ponzi scheme. He has called for raising the age for receiving benefits. So it's hard to know where he stands, but in my opinion, I'm not comfortable with someone who maligns the program and then says I'm for it. Hillary Clinton, on the other hand, is for expanding the program, improving benefits, and fighting off efforts to privatize it and cut benefits in any way, including raising the retirement age.
Unless we think, if somebody's watching, they think, oh, well, this must be a Democratic-based organization. Your organization is nonpartisan, right?
No, we're not partisan. We have not endorsed in the presidential race. I'm talking about the facts as we know them.
All right. Let's come home to our Senate race, because we're all looking at incumbent Mark Kirk and his challenger, Congresswoman Tammy Duckworth. How do they rate?
Well, in the past, this is a good example of how we are bipartisan. In the past, we have supported Senator Kirk in his campaigns. This time, we've endorsed Congresswoman Duckworth in the race for the Senate here. Why? We have a very simple formula. We look at votes, and we telegraph our position before votes are taken. We send a letter to the Congress, House and Senate. This is a scorecard vote. It's going to count. We're watching it, and we're going to add up the scores when it's time for the voters to make a decision.
And in fairness, while you are behind Duckworth this race, Kirk's ratings were not bad.
They were not bad, but we're comparing two candidates, two scores. She has a superior score.
All right. I know you were also in Florida working on the Democratic platform. You were invited to do that. You would have worked with Republicans had you been invited. But talk to me about the couple of pieces of legislation or work, I should say, policy in the platform, because really it's issues people should be thinking about.
Well, I was honored to be asked to be on the platform committee. I was in Orlando for 2 long days and nights of deliberation and amendments. I was glad to be able to have the platform committee adopt a couple of amendments I supported. Number one, referring to Social Security as an earned benefit. Very important distinction. It's not an entitlement. It's not welfare. It's not something you get because you're living and breathing. It's something you earn. You pay for it with every paycheck. And also, we were able to get into the platform a language that would support improving the formula for developing the cost of living adjustment. Every beneficiary of Social Security knows what a COLA is. They watch that every fall. In 2016, no COLA. Same in 2010, same in 2011. The formula is flawed. The platform supports an improved formula that measures inflation as it affects the goods and services seniors rely on.
Briefly, since people are living longer, what is your organization's position about raising the retirement age a bit?
Raising the retirement age is a cut in benefits. We're opposed to cutting benefits. There are other ways to, we're an organization that doesn't have our heads buried in the sand. We know things have to be changed. It's a dynamic program. It's changed dramatically since it was passed into law 81 years ago, by the way. Sunday was the 81st birthday of Social Security. But there are ways of bringing more revenue in that are fair. Right now, the cap on wages subject to the FICA tax is $118,500.
So raising that would be another way to do it.
You can raise it in a number of ways. Right. You can keep it at the current level, start again at $250,000, at $400,000, bringing enough revenue to improve benefits and extend the life of the program.
Max Richtman, thanks so much for your time.
Thanks
I appreciate it. Safe travels back to Washington. We'll be back with more politics tonight.